I apologize. I'm here today to discuss updates to the city's non-solicitation ordinances. We have had issues with door-to-door peddlers in the past, and we've had a couple of different solutions that haven't really gone over very well. So we've kind of made a few updates to see if we can kind of rectify that problem. So this will probably just take a couple of minutes, and afterwards we'll be able to field a few questions. Chief Berryhill, as well as a few other individuals from the Broken Arrow Police Department are here. So if you have questions, feel free to stop me at any time, or you can wait till the end. So first, this is just a quick overview of our trespassing ordinance. Simply put, no person shall enter upon or remain upon any public or private property in any area or structure of such property. And we also have a provision that when such entrance or remaining is plainly forbidden by signs, markings, or otherwise, or by verbal command. Simply put, you're allowed to put a sign up that says no trespassing, and if someone's on your property that shouldn't be, you're allowed to ask them to leave. We do have a few exceptions, obviously by authority of federal or state law, or if the owner gives explicit consent. We do reference in our ordinance Title 21, Section 1835, which is the state trespassing statute. What we have decided to do is, for door-to-door peddlers, we're simply just going to enforce our trespassing ordinance. We used to have a time limit from when door-to-door peddlers could go to door-to-door. We decided that was just simply not going to work. Also, we were threatened with a few lawsuits, which kind of forced our hand. So simply put, our ordinance defines a peddler as any person who engages in business from house to house, place to place, street to street, or solicits sales by taking orders for the sale of goods or wares. This obviously does not apply to not-for-profit, community-oriented charitable organizations. And the city requires all door-to-door peddlers to be licensed. And we just want to go real quick, all the information that we collect from door-to-door peddlers. And if you do see someone that is selling door-to-door, you can assure that the city has collected this information from them. We do ask for a valid sales tax number. We ask for all the names of persons having the right of management or their supervisors. We ask whether or not they're a proprietor or an agent and the address of their corporate address. And we also ask just information on the application, whether or not what kind of business they're going to be doing, and whether or not kind of information about their corporate entity, things like that. So we also provide some information about the time period they want to do business, what kind of character of the goods they're going to be selling, and as well as the information about the vehicle they're going to be using. So we also ask for a photo, and we also ask where they're going to be selling their wares. We do have a few exceptions. Obviously, minors who are performing fundraising, delivery of goods, and the aforementioned not-for-profit community-oriented charitable services. These licenses are only valid for 60 days, and they may be suspended if they are convicted for any misdemeanors involving dishonesty, larceny, burglary, felony, robbery, or embezzlement. Once we issue an ID, it must be readily available to be produced or shown to any member of the public. Simply put, if there's a door-to-door peddler going around your neighborhood, you are allowed to ask them to see a copy of their license. Violations of our door-to-door peddling ordinance results in $500 fines per violation. If you have a no solicitation sign on your property and you still receive solicitations, simply call the Broken Arrow Police. Number is 918-259-8400. If you continue getting solicitors, again, call the Broken Arrow Police Department. And this was an answer to your question. An existing neighborhood-wide no solicitation sign is no longer going to be effective under our ordinance. Each property must have its own sign to be effective. How do you get a no solicitation sign? You simply contact a local business that makes them. I've seen them even on Amazon, and you can purchase them pretty much anywhere online. Any kind of effective no solicitation sign will be effective.
You could even handwrite it too.
Oh, I got two questions. Sorry.
You could even handwrite that.
That is correct.
You don't
It just
have to buy a sign. You can repeat the question.
he asked if you can make your own sign. Even a handwritten no solicitation sign will be effective. It doesn't have to be printed. And all the rules that I've just mentioned, they obviously can't, and once they're on your property, if you ask them to leave, they do need to leave. If they don't, simply call the Broken Arrow Police Department. We do have a website that has some more information, brokenarrowok.gov/non-solicitation.
So just to make it really clear, the no solicitation was a specific ordinance for peddlers, okay? What we're moving to is just using our trespass for someone being on your property. Because of a legal issue, we can't enforce no solicitation from one entity for the entire neighborhood. It has to be per house. So you don't have to file anything with us. You can even go, I think, to Ace Hardware and get a little sticker, put on your window door or whatever. This is no solicitation. But the charge is still no trespassing. So you don't have to go file anything. You don't have to do the affidavits like we talked about before. It's actually a little bit simpler, but it's house per house, because the issue was legally your HOA couldn't restrict corporate speech for the entire neighborhood. That was the issue. But you can still say, I don't want any solicitors. And if they're on your property, they won't leave. Even though it's no solicitation, it's really trespassing. That ordinance has always been here. That's not going to go away. But yeah, if anyone's in your neighborhood, you can always ask them, I need to see your license. If they don't have a license, let us know. We'll come out and take care of them, because there's a specific ordinance for them to have a license. But really what we need to think about is, when you say no solicitation, think in terms of no trespassing, because that's what we're going to be enforcing.
It still allows strangers to wander through your neighborhood.
Yeah, like a straight, anybody can walk down any public easement, a sidewalk, whatever. But if you have a no solicitation sign on your door or in your shrubs or whatever, and they come up, it's really trespassing, because you've already told them, I don't want you up here. And of course, if someone comes up to your yard and they won't leave, it's trespassing. So it's really an easier process than having to go through and file an affidavit. You just use an individual, just warn them.
What was that phone number again that we called?
259-8400.
Yeah.
This is a non-emergency number.
259-8100.
8400.
Thank you.
And that's what a lot of it was. He touched upon it. It is corporate speech. In Oklahoma, corporations are people. People have the right of First Amendment right to free speech. Yes, sir.
We as the homeowners association actually had no solicitation, some stickers printed and gave them to all of our residents.
Yes, that's fine too.
We printed 1,000 of them.
Yes. As the chief said, it's just on a property by property basis. It's essentially no trespassing. So, yes, sir.
So there's no longer the annual registration process.
That is correct. It is no longer effective.
So it's all on an individual one-by-one basis.
Correct. No affidavit, no registration. None of that's effective anymore. Yes, counselor.
But if they have the no solicitation sign at their neighborhood entrance now, they don't have to remove it.
That is correct. They do not need to remove it, but it's to trigger this ordinance, it needs to be on the property. Yes, sir.
I noticed you said that there was a $500 fine for solicitors that aren't licensed.
Correct.
Have you ever actually collected from them?
I am not the city prosecutor, so I don't know that I'm in the best position to answer that.
I caught a guy last year on the little Hempcourt thing, and I had a ticket written to him. So I forget if it was, it might have been the no solicitation, but what we end up having is every year in the summer, it's the same group of people. They get a van, they get 10 people in a van, they drop them off in the neighborhood, and they say, I'm coming back in 8 hours to pick you up, and they have to sell so much stuff. So if they don't have a license, if you call us, we come out, we'll write them a ticket and make them leave, and we will stand there and make sure someone comes and picks them up. So, but you have to call us. But a lot of times they do go get the license, and they have it on their person, and we can't restrict them from walking around selling stuff that maybe, I don't know if it's really valid what they're doing, but it seems like it's always every summer, and they travel from city to city to city. But most of the time they do have a permit, because they kind of know what they're doing. And I have a feeling it's probably the same company every year. They just pick up people and put them out in the neighborhood. They do have to have a license.
I feel bad for people that are having to do that.
Yeah, I would, it's just, anytime someone comes door to door, a lot of times they're kind of aggressive, just close the door, say, get off my property, and call us. And you don't have to ask to see their license, just call us and we'll come out and check them and see if they have their license. You know, we don't want you to approach people who don't.
But in further answer of your question, they do receive a citation. They do have to appear at the municipal court, and a judge ultimately decides whether or not they are to receive a fine. And then we begin the city collection efforts. So
So let me ask you this. I'm the vice president of the master board and president of the cottages HOA up here at Battle Creek. So we've had, a couple of cases where we've had people, kind of like what Chief was talking about a while ago, where they just go door to door to door to door. And that's okay, we call on that right there. I mean, because nobody's got a no trespassing sign up, you know, really, in our neighborhood.
Correct.
You know, at this point, anyway. And, you know, it arouses suspicion, you know, and we're, you know, it's just, you know, they're selling like toothbrushes or some obscure thing. The concern is that we're thinking that it's people that are possibly casing. You know.
That's a legitimate concern. And again, that's why non-solicitation signs are supposed to be observed by door-to-door peddlers. And that's why you call the police if they don't observe those.
But if nobody has a non-soliciting sign, then
They just simply they need to leave the property, either upon request or on their own.
okay.
So, and if not, then they're officially trespassing.
Okay.
So, yes, ma'am.
Is it okay to leave those signs they have up at each entry? Or?
Yes, that was similar to the counselor's question.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Is there any exceptions for Girl Scout, Boy Scout?
That was covered. Yes.
I wasn't in there. And of course politicians. You know,
No, they're engaged in fundraising for charitable purpose. So yes. Any other questions? Or for the chief?
Related to this topic,
Related to this topic.
since you've got the corner of the room. So.
Yeah.
There's an exit right there.
Yeah,
that you can get out of here.
You know, we don't mind coming out and checking out. So, of course, if you have anybody in your neighborhood that you're suspicious about that's going door to door, just call us. And if you want to know what happened, make sure you tell the dispatcher you would like to know what the result was, and they'll call you back. If we come out there and check out somebody and they have a license and they've got their ID, we have to let them on their way. So if you want to know for sure, just have the dispatcher say, I would like to know if this person had a license. And they'll call you back and tell you. But we don't mind coming out and checking out people because we want to make sure people that are in our neighborhoods are licensed and are there for a reason. So don't hesitate to call us.
To piggyback off of that, if you guys have a homeowner association meeting that you want the PD to come to and discuss this new change, please let me know. I've got some pamphlets out there by our PD booth, and I'd be more than happy to come by and speak about this so that you all can understand rather than just you individuals. I don't mind doing that, so.
So did they just make the change because of the complexity of registering like your HOA?
No, like you said, there was
There's a legal challenge. Yeah, there was a legal challenge. So I think the idea was trying to take what you as an individual could do and expand it out to a homeowner association.
Gotcha.
But the legal challenge was I have dominion over my property because I own it. You don't have dominion over your other neighborhood property because you don't own their
Which
house.
absolutely makes sense.
Yeah, so it was a legal challenge. It wasn't the complexity. The only good thing about this is, yeah, you can put up signs if you don't have them. You can leave signs if you have them. And you don't have to go through trying to file an affidavit. But no matter what, trespassing is trespassing. You have the right to ask anyone to leave your property, whether they're selling stuff or not selling stuff. You're still enforcing the same thing to get off my property.
So let me step that up. The area that we're in and in our master association, we've got 2 gated areas. Can we put no trespassing signs on the gates?
So does the regular public have access to your neighborhood? Can someone walk in?
No.
I'll let him
It's
answer that.
completely secure.
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
So we have 2 gated areas up here at the reserve at Battle Creek.
Uh-huh.
And if we put no trespassing signs on the gates, and there's no access, there's no public access, you have to live there to get through the gates, would they be able to enforce that?
Yeah, that's still trespassing. If you have a gate up, and our trespassing ordinance even says that.
Even for you know, 100 houses, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's what the gate's for, yeah.
Okay. So once
And it's
across
private,
that
and it's all
gate,
private property, correct?
Even though it's HOA,
Yes.
then